Hello, and thanks for joining me today on a special edition of Duck Rehab Corner, or Geese Rehab Corner. And the topic of today's video is talking about posture. What is good posture? Does posture really matter at all? Should we be concerned with it? And for any of you that have been following my videos, you might know that I'm currently obsessed with the work from the Postural Restoration Institute, and I'm doing training through their courses, and I've used their techniques with patients, clients, and personally with myself. And having found a lot of the same things that they found in my independent research prior to knowing about them, you might think that I'm pretty obsessed with posture, okay? And I want to explain exactly what I mean by posture, and I think what the difference is between what I think about posture and what sort of people think of as posture, right? So if you look at these geese right now, if you're laying around and their bills and necks are bent down and they're cleaning themselves and they're laying on their sides or they're laying down, and I don't think any of us would consider this to be particularly excellent posture, right? Definitely not in the way that we think of it as being nice and upright and straight and aligned and symmetrical, etc. But what I want to get across is they're doing a specific activity right now. And in doing that specific activity, they have a specific position that they need to use to do that, or that they do use to do that. And humans, we're really no different, right? When we're on a laptop, on an iPhone, we have our heads down. We might be bent over if we had a long day and we're sleeping. We might crawl up into the fetal position. We might lay on our stomach with an arm under. And it's not the best positioning necessarily, but really it's not bad inherently to be in one position, right? It is when you get stuck in that position, and from a neurological perspective, the function of your muscles gets stuck doing what they would do if they were in that position, right? So right now, I'm in a deep squat. You could say my back is rounded, my head is up, my legs are abducted. Is this a good position? Yeah, it's a perfectly good position for a squat. Now, if I was stuck in this position and couldn't activate muscles to get out of this position, I'd be in a real predicament, right? And so when we're talking about restoring someone's posture, or really talking about restoring the function of the muscles that allow a joint to work in a specific way. And I'll give you an example of why appearances are not always the best way to go in terms of judging this. So when we think good posture in today's society, we tend to think of very upright, very straight, right? Straight back, shoulders back, elevated rib cage and such, and so I was working with some young pre-professional ballerinas, and one of the girls was having issues, and it was hard for us PTs because we looked at her and she was totally straight up and down, right? The head was straight. We are taught in PT school that it's the ears align with the shoulders, align with the hips, align with the knees, align with the ankles. So she was ears all aligned all the way up. Now she also had a very extended ribcage position. And so what ended up happening was when we took her from her extended ribcage positioning to a neutral sternum, her head was forward like this. And so a lot of times the appearance is deceiving, right? Someone may look as though they have really good posture, but she could not voluntarily take her sternum from this extended position, bring it down, and then bring her head up. Her front of her neck was so overactive that the only way she could get her head up was to extend that sternum. And that pattern was cemented in to her movement from years of training, and it wasn't something that we were going to be able to change just by saying, okay, get your sternum in neutral, get your ribs down, and lift your head, because she couldn't shut off the muscles in the front of this neck. So that's someone who on the surface appeared to have great posture in the way that, you know, modern society tends to define posture, that erect sort of appearance. And then from a neuromuscular function perspective, she couldn't shut down muscles that she needed to allow her self to get into a more neutral position. So she had lost the ability to flex through the trunk and the thorax and to extend at the neck while doing so. So that's just an example of how this person had good posture, but poor posture in the way I'm defining it, in that they couldn't turn around that function of a muscle. So the muscle got stuck on, and positionally between the neck and the sternum, she was stuck there, right? And so that's not good. Even if, let's say that was a desirable posture, the fact that she can't get unstuck from that position means that she has an inflexible neuromuscular system. Okay, so she's not going to be good at moving, or as good at moving as the person next to her that can get out of that pattern and into the opposite pattern and reverse from one to the other. And so in the time that we've been talking, now you can see that our buddies have gone back to swimming, okay, and they are no longer curled up, their heads are no longer down, their heads are actually straight up, and they look perfectly symmetrical and balanced. All right, so that's the point. We're talking more about function, being able to get in and out of a pattern, than we are about static positioning. And when you go to fixed posture, it is not wise to think that you can just change the way it looks and change the position and then think that you're going to be able to continue to be able to get in and out of various patterns. So that's why we need a specific program of neuromuscular retraining. That is my focus. That is the focus of Postural Restoration Institute concepts and practitioners. So if that's something that you're interested in doing, then we should talk about that. But I urge you not to just go and try to stand up straighter or get any postural correction devices, which are oversimplifying the issue and not drilling down to the core of what's really going on. So hope you enjoyed today's video. I'll see you next time. Thanks a lot for watching.